Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Melanie. How are you? I hope you're doing fine. I don't know. I can't see you. Today's video is something that I thought I would never ever have to talk about. Not that I have to talk about it, but I feel like I should share it because if you go through a similar situation like this, the one thing you might want to consider doing is putting it out there so that you're informing everyone else so that they can keep an eye out. But if you read the title, you know where this is going. I also want to apologize in advance. I'm not really good at telling stories. I suck. I just feel like it's just bland. So I'm gonna do my best and try not to make it boring. No promises. I've just been applying for jobs left and right. I'm in my senior year of college. I graduate next year. So of course I feel like it's only natural that I look for a job because, you know, I'm almost out of college. Why wouldn't I do that? Hello. As I am looking, I'm just filling out, waiting and a little discouraged, I'm not gonna lie, and a little doubtful when it comes to looking for a job because I just doubt myself way too much. It's always in my head. I feel like people who go through situations like this or who take my line of work, if you're already kind of slacking in the social media department, you might feel the same way I do. A couple weeks ago, I received a text message from someone called James Keeley. Sorry, I got the name wrong. Don't know who they were at the moment. They said they found my resume on a career link job thing, website, something like that. And they sent in a text message and told me if I was still interested in the job, the video editing job. I said I was. So, you know, of course, me being excited, I'm about to graduate college, first opportunity hits the door. Of course, I'm gonna look into it, read it, you know, find out more. I then was told to download an app called Wire, and that's where we would communicate. Now, off the bat, I'm like, shouldn't you call me? Maybe? I don't know. FaceTime? Voicemail? No, not even voicemail. Sorry, that's something else. That didn't happen. So, me being me, I'm excited. With COVID going on, I figured they're gonna take different routes in applying or reaching out to applicants. So I was like, whatever, let's do this. I downloaded it. We talk on there a little more. He then tells me that the company is called Mashable. I will openly admit and say I didn't know anything about Mashable up until they told me about it. So I did what any normal person would do in a sense like this. I just researched the heck out of them. I wanted to know what they were about, how they were, and what is it that they did. If you know me, you know that I am dying to work for BuzzFeed. That is a career goal for me. But at the moment I know that I have to work myself up because hello, I am a fresh video editor. Not saying I'm the greatest, but you know, BuzzFeed, if you're watching this, totally into getting a job. Seriously. Okay, sorry. I then look up the guy's name, James, who's supposed to be a social media, or he said that he was the manager of HR, and again, at the moment I didn't ask questions. Probably should have asked more, but you know, I didn't. I was just so excited, first chance, the opportunity that came my way because I kind of didn't think I'd get it. We keep going. He keeps telling me about the job first. After he explains what the job is, he starts listing things that sounded too good to be true, and they really made me hesitate and think about it. He told me that the job was $45 an hour, which I saw that in the application. That alone was like, and that it was $30 to start during training. $45, new to videography career. That sounds like a bang. After telling me that, he then begins to tell me about the equipment that they will be sending my way, which would be a new iMac, a new MacBook, a whole bunch of other equipment, office equipment that you would need because the job position was remote. Again, I was very hesitant and I wasn't sure what necessarily was it that kind of kept me to think, I don't know, $45, new to videography career.
That sounds like a bit.
We go on, I'm still applying because, you know, you don't want to throw out the only opportunity that you possibly have, right? He begins by telling me all of this and in the back of my head I'm just like, what is the catch? I'm waiting for him to tell me we have to send money or something. So he begins by telling me that I also have to get a company phone. And right there I was like, okay, why? I don't want to spend money. I don't have money. I don't even have a job. So why would I spend money on a new phone? I then asked him, I was in my head, I'm like, okay, this is it. This is where the scam's going to come in. You have to pay to get the phone and this is it. So I asked him, how does that work? He says they send you out a loan and you purchase the phone. It could be your personal phone. It could be a business phone and then you have your personal. I just wasn't seeing the scam at the moment. I was just like, okay, this is awesome. Everything just seems normal, but not normal. That was until I received my first phone call. Now you would think getting your first phone call, it would be reassuring that it's a real job because you're actually talking to someone on the phone. No, it was not. He told me that someone was going to be calling me. He didn't call me when he said he was supposed to, but the next day that came, he then called me. I don't know about you guys, but any job application that I've filled out and any job that I've gotten, when they had to call me on the phone call was clear, clean. You understood everything. This man sounded like he was underground or in the train station, because I could not hear a word he said. Nothing. It was muffled, and all I heard was,
"You got the job, congratulations."
And nothing more than that. I kid you not, I don't know if it's because I blocked out everything else and that's all I wanted to hear or what. I have no idea. I was slightly excited, but at the same time, I was like, I don't know. That call just really threw me off, and then it made my suspicions from thinking this was a scam feel a lot more heightened because of that phone call. I continued with the interview for the next day. We discussed more, and then he said that he was going to send me off to the head of my department, which would be my team leader. I don't know what she was called, to be honest. She said she was head of PR. I don't remember, to be honest with you. Things are just starting to kind of fall, I don't know, little by little, and I'm the whole time trying really hard to find out anything about this company, but everything kept pointing to the Mashable website, which was throwing me off. I tried emailing them, but I couldn't find the right email, and I didn't get a response in time. I tried looking up the names, which the guy was James Keela, and then the person he's transferred me to was something Moody. Sarah Moody, I think it was. I don't know. I could not find anything. When I found the HR manager for Mashable, it turns out her name was Amanda Churchill. Who's Amanda Churchill? I then asked him about Amanda Churchill, how she was the HR representative, because I kept pushing that Miss Moody or Sarah Moody, whatever her name was, on giving me the HR number in case I needed to speak to someone. And she kept telling me that if I had any questions, I can ask her. And I then replied with, what if it has to do with payroll? And she didn't say anything. So I told her, well,
what about Amanda Churchill?
What about her? She told me that Amanda Churchill was retiring. I don't know how good this company actually pays their people, Mashable, but if she was legitimately retiring. Hey, me from the future. So I'm editing this video and I realized I could not find a picture of this Amanda Churchill. I literally found one when I was looking for everything and I couldn't find one. So enjoy the stick figure because I cannot find a picture of her. This woman right here, this attractive young lady, retiring. Look how young she looks. Are you kidding me? That pushed me back even more. After going through that, I'm still like in my head trying hard to kind of be excited because I did potentially get a job, but then at the same time I'm like, is it really a job? Because I just had so many red flags going off, but nothing was looking like a scam. No one was asking me for money. They weren't asking for personal information. I got interviewed like you would any normal interview. They kept telling me about the job. They went in such detail that it just honestly threw me by surprise. So I didn't know what to think, honestly. I looked for days on like information that kind of could have helped me to know or understand whether this was legit or not. I think the biggest red flag was not being able to find their name and instead finding other people for those names or for those titles, like the job titles. It was so difficult for me, so difficult. I begin getting kind of nervous and I keep telling my fiance I don't know how to feel about this job. I feel excited, but at the same time I don't feel excited. So I don't feel like I was fully enjoying this opportunity. If in fact it was an opportunity, I wasn't enjoying it. And the whole time I'm like, I don't know. I kept telling family members and they're like, just don't doubt yourself like that. You know, you're good. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I'm not that good, you know? So I don't know. I don't think this is real. But then at the same time, I don't know. They haven't asked me for anything. So how am I gonna know? Just 1 second. I'm telling everyone in my family about this position. I'm telling them that, I don't know, it just seems a little sketchy and I don't know that I should pursue it. I should, you know, maybe just keep on with everything else that I've been doing. Thankfully, I did not stop applying for other jobs because that's how sketched out I was. I then get to the point where I started asking questions because it started getting to the point where I was gonna do the training process and I told my fiance, well, if they send me stuff, I believe it. But I just got so skeptical. I was telling my fiance that I never worked for a company that didn't give me my offer letter to sign first. It was like, you got the job, let's start working. And that's not what I'm used to. So I told my fiance I was gonna ask them about a offer letter, which I did. I asked, I think it was the lady, Sarah, first, and she told me that James was gonna be setting it up. So I spoke to James. When I spoke to James and asked him about the offer letter, his words were that he wasn't allowed to do that. He wasn't allowed to give me a digital copy of my offer letter. Don't they usually send them digitally? Okay, so I was like, fine. Send me the letter when you get the chance. I gave him my address, which was the only piece of information. Let me just say that now. And I was like, okay, well maybe they're just gonna mail it to me. And I signed it and faxed it back. I don't know. I went back still unsure and honestly still questioning everything. It was just, I don't know. Well, I do know, but it was just, it wasn't right for me, honestly. I just felt like, you know, something was off, and I'm saying this like a bajillion times, but I wasn't able to celebrate. The next day comes and all of a sudden, I don't know, I woke up researching. Like, I kid you not, every day that I was talking to them, I was like looking in my computer, the names still. I was looking at my computer LinkedIn profiles. I was looking at my computer Instagram. I even wrote to LinkedIn, or I even spoke to Mashable on Instagram in hopes that they would respond to my request. I am not able to speak, that's how frazzled I am. They never got back to me. So it just felt almost like maybe it's not as bad as you think. You know, you've been dying for a job like this, you really want to work for BuzzFeed, and this is slightly like BuzzFeed, so it's a really good, what's the word? It's a really good opportunity. You know, you learn some of the similar things that you would if you were in BuzzFeed, but you also get to kind of grow yourself. It was just an overall job that I knew I would have been really interested in. And I was like, they're rebranding themselves, so James told me. So I was like, I could probably offer a lot to the table. You know, we can throw some new ideas off each other, because I watched some of their videos and there are certain things that I would do differently, but I feel like I could have been really good in their company. The next day when we start to talk again, I keep looking and we're kind of doing like the training process, and this Sarah lady is telling me about the phone and how I have to get a phone. Again, I didn't get asked to send money to them. I was just told to purchase a phone. I was a little on the edge of this too, because I'm like, well, I don't have a job. I don't have money to buy a phone. My phone's acting up now and I have to upgrade it, but I don't have money to even upgrade it. So I'm like, what do I do? So I asked her, well, how would I go about getting it? She said that I can do the payment plan with Verizon, because that was the person that I would get it through, or just buy it whole. And I thought to myself, shouldn't they pay for some of it and then I pay for the remaining balance? And that's not what happened. She said that I would pay for the phone and they would reimburse me money. Right there is where I was like, that's okay. I mean, they're gonna reimburse me and they're gonna put all the nicks and knacks that I need, or I need to download all the nicks and knacks that I need for my phone, so whatever. Maybe I'll do it as my personal phone. Maybe. But I then spoke to James and I wanted to know a little bit more about this phone thing, because I didn't know if I had to take money out of my own pocket, and he told me that he wasn't sure about that, that was all Sarah's position, or that was all Sarah's thing to talk about. So I went back to Sarah. It was a lot of back and forth because I just needed to get to the bottom of this. Finally, the information I have been searching for this entire time has been thrown on my lap, and I kid you not, it was the biggest blessing and push of fresh air I have received in a couple of days from that situation. I finally received an article right here from the Mashable website themselves, speaking about a scammer or scammers who have been scamming people into thinking they're getting a job with Mashable, but it turns out they're just trying to get your money. And here's how they try to do it. So I didn't get this far in the whole interview process, because once I found this information out, I sent that article to Sarah and James. I got blocked immediately. Therefore, they also answered my question.
I was getting scammed.
I read the article, so turns out what they were trying to do was get me to buy a phone. Once I bought that phone, I would send that phone off to a certain place that they would install all the required equipment into it, like all the apps and stuff like that, because it's supposed to be an encrypted phone. I would send that off to them and they would do that, and then they would send me back the phone with the reimbursement money that was to purchase it. But instead, when you go to do that, the part where it's supposed to go to this company, it ends up in another country that's not anywhere close to us. I saw that and I was like, thank God. After they get you in that far, if you are, I guess, unfortunately dumb enough to fall for it completely, they would then ask for your bank information, your social security, you know, anything you would normally give out when applying for a job, for direct deposit and just for background checks, all that other stuff. The guy in that article unfortunately fell for the cell phone part. I don't know if he fell for more. By the way, I didn't even show you guys what the offer letter looked like. This is what the offer letter looked like. My fiance looked over this and he made some great observations. First off, look at the caption of their, the name and address of their company. You see it's not centered correctly. Like it's just placed there. I'm not gonna show you my address, but if you were to see my address, I didn't capitalize any of the letters in my address. So like if it was Pumpkin Avenue, then P and Pumpkin and A and Avenue would be capitalized. I did not do that. I just sent them the address. So if you look at it, it looks like they just copied and pasted onto the letter. Then they give you all this beautiful information here. And then in the bottom, we have the signing, which my fiance pointed out to me that in most places when they sign, they always print below the person's name. And that's where you know, or you know who it is. That I honestly didn't think of that. He did. And I started looking through a bunch of other applications and stuff that I've done in the past. And it's true, they do that. Awesome things to be observant. Something that threw me off, I don't know if this is just me as a creator, but even if this was all perfectly done, that bottom Mashable icon threw me off. It is stretched out. If you are representing your company, you don't want that to look stretched out. You're gonna want it to look great. Your whole offer letter is gonna wanna look good. That is what threw me off. Really, guys? Really? So that was my story and this unfortunate thing. I'm glad that I didn't get myself too spiked up about it. I honestly was kind of whatever about it. I didn't put too much thought into it. I just didn't psych myself up. And I think the fact that I didn't psych myself up I didn't get super disappointed. So what I am going to say is if you do happen to receive an interview online or through text, first off, find a way to call them. If it's not through Skype or anything like that, don't do it. I feel like if they're gonna text you it, they can always send you the message and they'll have you call them, or you can tell them that they're able to call you whenever. If it doesn't give you that option, don't do it. If it tells you to download another app to contact them, don't do it. And if you can't understand a word they are saying on the phone, don't do it. And Mashable, if you happen to see this video and are aware of this, because clearly you were, keep your eyes open because it's happening again. Okay, I'm back. Another thing is my camera ended up dying and I pre-recorded another clip for the ending in my other camera, but unfortunately that one didn't save. So here I am recording an ending. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, like, share it, because you want to make sure that other people are aware of these scams that are going on, especially now more than ever that everything is remote. And don't forget to subscribe. I make videos twice a month because I'm a college student and that's all I can do. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.